I'm Robyn Moore, and I'm the 2024 Kentucky State Fellow. The love I have for landscape as a landscape photographer really comes from being a Southern artist. And I really see it as something the South has given me. It's given me an appreciation of diverse landscapes. And throughout the course of my life and my art practice, I've really explored that diversity in my work. And I have such an appreciation for the diversity of people and the way that the land holds history. I make art to try and understand things I don't understand. When I'm in landscape, there's so many ways I appreciate landscape. When I'm in landscape, there's something else there. There's something that is not available to the naked eye. You can feel it, it's palpable, but you can't quite see it. And for me, that's what I'm chasing. And I feel like that is, I call that intelligence. There's an intelligence in landscape. The history is there. There are entities there. There are forces there. And the great thing about the process that I'm using, which is called photopolymer gravure, it's a photo-based printmaking process. And it's highly material. You're using ink, you're using paper, you're starting with a photographic image, but at the end of the day, it's a print pulled off of a press. And there's so many opportunities to literally materialize these sensations. There's so many opportunities to experiment. For me, my actual process, the experimentation is key. What's so important to me about art making is that I want to discover something through my art making. So I'm using art in that process, that material process, to foster an understanding that is material, it's experimental, and hopefully the mark making that I introduce in the process sort of alludes to these forces. The figure I create in the process alludes to this sort of collective intelligence, if you will. Photography has a really long-standing relationship with allowing us to see something that we couldn't see with the naked eye. You know, when I use the photographic image making, I feel like I'm a forensic scientist a little bit, in that I'm using these tools to try and materialize what I feel palpably through my body, through my aesthetic experience, but it can't be shared, right? And so for me, there's a forensic aspect to photography that in this work acts as the agent of the revelation, where through the process, through the forensic nature of photography, this idea that I almost feel like if nature had fingerprints, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking fingerprints, right? And not in a specifically religious way, but in a much more of a biological way. There's so many things about the living world we don't know, and I feel like photography is so good about detecting those things, and especially using photography in art making and art practice. So for me, that's the revelatory aspect through this process, through photography as a medium, but also the material process of the printmaking. It allows me to see things I can't see, but feel and know that are there, and hopefully share that with viewers, because that's as important as anything else.